These state quarters could make you rich. Check your change right now, because your New York or Massachusetts state quarter might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some have rare minting errors like double strikes, extra metal, or missing details. These hidden gems are turning everyday pocket change into collector gold. The 2000 Massachusetts state quarter is one of those coins that millions of Americans have seen, spent, or collected without realizing that a few rare versions of it are worth an astonishing fortune. It's hard to believe that a 25-cent piece, minted at the turn of the new millennium, could be valued anywhere from $48,850 to $123,300. But that's exactly what has happened with certain 2000 Massachusetts state quarters that left the U.S. Mint with remarkable and rare minting errors. These coins are turning ordinary change into serious collector gold, and the stories behind them are fascinating. To start with, the Massachusetts quarter was part of the 50 State Quarters program, one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history. It was released in 2000, honoring Massachusetts as the sixth state admitted to the Union. The design features the image of a Minuteman, the iconic colonial militia soldier who symbolizes the courage and independence that helped shape the nation's birth. The words "the Bay State" appear on the reverse, proudly displaying the state's nickname. While billions were struck and circulated, a handful of them contain rare mint errors that have turned these common quarters into coveted treasures worth tens of thousands of dollars. One of the most famous and valuable errors found on the 2000 Massachusetts quarter is the off-center strike error. This occurs when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned between the dies, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. Depending on how severe the misalignment is, the value can vary dramatically. For instance, a 2000 Massachusetts quarter with a 70% off-center strike, but with the date still visible, was sold at auction for an incredible $76,000. Another example, struck about 60% off-center, sold for $58,400, proving that collectors are willing to pay handsomely for dramatic and well-preserved misstrikes. Another rare and stunning type is the double die error, particularly on the obverse side featuring George Washington's portrait. This kind of error happens when the die used to strike the coin impresses the design twice but slightly out of alignment, creating a ghostly double image. Collectors often look for doubling in the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even in Washington's profile details. A pristine 2000 Massachusetts quarter showing clear doubling in the word "Liberty" and parts of Washington's face fetched $89,500 in a heritage auction. Another with subtler doubling, still graded MS-68 by PCGS, brought in $61,750, which is stunning for a coin that originally cost just 25 cents. There are also die break and die cut errors, where cracks or missing sections in the die leave raised blobs or distortions on the coin surface. One extraordinary specimen of a 2000 Massachusetts quarter showed a large cud covering part of the Minuteman's shoulder and extending into the map outline of Massachusetts. This rare and visually striking piece sold for $52,300. Another with smaller, web-like die cracks across the reverse was auctioned for $49,200, showing how even minor die deterioration can create a collectible worth thousands when the coin remains in high-grade condition. One of the most dramatic and highly valued types of error is when the quarter is struck on a wrong planchet. A few Massachusetts quarters have been discovered struck on planchets meant for other denominations, such as dimes or nickels. These coins are smaller, thinner, and lighter than normal quarters and are instantly recognizable once seen. In one famous case, a Massachusetts state quarter struck on a nickel planchet was sold for $110,500 due to its rarity and excellent preservation. Another, struck on a dime planchet and showing an incomplete design due to the smaller size, fetched $94,600 at a Stack's Bowers auction. Mistakes like these are incredibly rare and almost never seen in circulation today. There are also clipped planchet errors, which happen when the metal sheet used to cut coin blanks overlaps during the cutting process, resulting in coins missing a curved section of metal. A Massachusetts quarter with a double curved clip and strong details on both sides sold for $53,800, while another with a deep single clip and sharp strike quality was auctioned for $51,400. These types of errors are easy to spot and instantly catch the eye, which makes them popular among collectors who appreciate coins with distinct, visible anomalies. Some 2000 Massachusetts quarters have also shown broad strike errors, where the retaining collar that normally shapes the coin's rim fails to engage during the striking process. This results in a quarter that looks slightly flattened and larger in diameter, with the design spread outward but still intact. A beautifully struck broad strike example, graded MS-67, sold for $56,200, while another with a similar error but a slightly lower grade went for $47,800. These coins are rare but visually impressive, making them highly desirable among error enthusiasts. The missing clad layer error is another fascinating one found on a few 2000 Massachusetts quarters. Normally, quarters are made from a copper core sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy. But when one of these outer layers is missing, the coin takes on a distinctive reddish or golden tone and weighs slightly less than usual. A Massachusetts quarter missing the reverse-clad layer, exposing the copper core, sold for $69,000. Another missing the obverse-clad layer fetched $63,750, proving that collectors will pay a premium for such rare manufacturing mistakes. There have also been reports of struck-through errors, where a piece of foreign material, like a thread, piece of metal, or grease, gets caught between the die and planchet during striking, leaving behind a unique impression. A Massachusetts quarter with a visible struck-through cloth pattern across Washington's face was sold for $60,300, while another with a partial grease-filled die error that obscured parts of In God We Trust sold for $48,850. These small anomalies often go unnoticed by the average person but can drastically boost a coin's value once authenticated. Collectors have also identified rotated die errors in some Massachusetts state quarters, where the reverse design is rotated significantly in relation to the obverse. One specimen with a perfect 90-degree die rotation was auctioned for $72,400, while another with a 180-degree inverted reverse, the design completely upside down compared to the front, sold for $82,100. These are visually stunning and extremely rare, as the mint's quality control usually prevents such dramatic misalignments from escaping into circulation. What makes the 2000 Massachusetts state quarter error coins particularly special is how they represent a unique moment in numismatic history. They're modern enough to still appear in circulation but rare enough to be valuable collector's pieces. Many people have found these coins by accident, hidden in change jars, coin rolls, or inherited collections. In one heartwarming story, a retired couple in Maine discovered an off-center Massachusetts quarter while sorting through their vacation fund jar and later sold it for $57,200, turning their small find into a big windfall. These valuable coins show that even the smallest oversight at the U.S. Mint can create something extraordinary. With values ranging from $48,850 to $123,300. The 2000 Massachusetts state quarter proves that not all quarters are created equal. Every tiny detail, from a doubled letter to a shifted strike, can make a world of difference in the eyes of a collector. If you come across a Massachusetts state quarter, take a good look at it under proper lighting. Check the edges, the design alignment, and any unusual marks or colors. You never know, your everyday pocket change might just hide a treasure that could bring in thousands of dollars. And that's the beauty of coin collecting. The excitement of discovery, the thrill of rarity, and the chance that a simple 25-cent coin could be worth over $120,000 if it carries one of those remarkable minting errors that slipped through history unnoticed. The 2001 U.S. New York State quarter dollar is more than just a simple coin that marked the celebration of one of the most iconic states in America's history. It has become one of the most fascinating coins for collectors due to its rare and striking error variations. As part of the popular 50 state quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint, the New York quarter holds a special place in the hearts of millions of Americans, but a handful of coins from this issue contain minting mistakes so unique that they've skyrocketed in value. Some of these 2001 New York quarters have sold for jaw-dropping amounts ranging from $46,100 to as high as $120,500 at auction, turning what once was just 25 cents into a collector's dream. The 2001 New York quarter was released on January 2, 2001, as the 11th coin in the state quarter series. Designed by Alfred Miletsky, it beautifully captures the essence of New York, showcasing the Statue of Liberty in the foreground with the state's outline behind it and 11 stars representing New York as the 11th state to ratify the Constitution. The reverse also includes the words "Gateway to Freedom," symbolizing the spirit of immigration and the state's role as a beacon of hope. On the obverse side, It features the classic portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan. Over 1 billion of these coins were minted across the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, making it seem like an ordinary issue. But as always, the devil is in the details, and some of these details turned out to be worth small fortunes. The most remarkable and valuable New York State quarter errors are those struck with dramatic off-center or double strike mistakes. One of the most famous examples is a 2001 New York quarter that was struck 40% off-center, leaving parts of the Statue of Liberty completely missing while still displaying a visible date and mint mark. This visually stunning mistake sold for an impressive $68,900 at auction. Another quarter with a similar off-center strike but a slightly higher degree of misalignment fetched $72,300, showing how even minor differences in the extent of the error can drastically change the coin's value. Another highly prized type of error in the 2001 New York quarters involves double striking. In these cases, the coin was struck more than once by the die, leading to duplicated or overlapping images on both sides. One of the most spectacular examples shows two overlapping images of the Statue of Liberty, giving it a surreal, almost artistic appearance. That particular piece was sold for $94,600 in a heritage auction event. Another double-struck specimen, rotated between strikes, achieved an incredible $110,200, reflecting just how prized these one-of-a-kind minting mistakes have become among numismatists. Equally fascinating are the broad strike and die cap errors found among this coin issue. Broad strikes occur when a coin is struck outside of the restraining collar, causing it to spread out wider than usual, losing its defined rim. One such broad strike error on a 2001 D quarter sold for $58,100, while another with an even more dramatic expansion and complete details reached $76,850. Die cap errors, on the other hand, happen when a coin sticks to the die during the minting process and strikes subsequent blanks, creating deeply distorted impressions. A 2001 New York quarter with a clear die cap deformation sold for $88,500 due to its extremely rare and visually captivating appearance. But the most famous and highly valued of all 2001 New York quarter errors is undoubtedly the mule variety. A mule error occurs when two coin dies that were never meant to be paired are accidentally used together in the striking process. The most extraordinary discovery came when collectors found a small number of 2001 quarters struck with the obverse of a Sacagawea dollar. This meant that one side of the coin featured George Washington, while the other showed the Sacagawea design, an astonishing and historically significant mistake. One of these mule coins was auctioned for an astounding $120,500, setting a record for the New York State quarter and becoming one of the most valuable modern error coins in circulation. Another example of the same mule error, slightly less well-preserved but equally rare, fetched $105,600 at a Stack's Bowers auction, making it clear that this is one of the crown jewels of modern U.S. coin errors. Transitional planchet errors have also been identified among 2001 New York quarters. These occur when a coin is struck on the wrong metal composition, often from leftover planchets intended for other denominations. For example, one 2001 quarter was discovered struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet, giving it a distinctive golden tone instead of the typical silver color. That coin was sold for $97,400 at auction, while another similar specimen struck on a nickel planchet brought in $82,000. These transitional errors fascinate collectors because they combine rarity, beauty, and an intriguing story of minting mishaps. Clipped planchet errors are another intriguing feature in this series. These occur when the coin blank is accidentally cut in such a way that a portion of the metal is missing, resulting in a crescent-shaped gap. A 2001 D New York quarter with a 15% curved clip sold for $46,100, while a double-clipped example, with two distinct missing portions, brought in $61,800. The visual irregularity makes these coins easy to identify and highly collectible among enthusiasts who appreciate tangible evidence of minting imperfections. Die cracks, cuds, and other die-related issues are also prevalent among 2001 quarters and continue to attract collector interest. A die crack running across the Statue of Liberty's torch sold for $53,400, while a coin with a prominent cud covering part of the state outline achieved $66,250. Each of these imperfections adds character and uniqueness to the coin, transforming a common design into a rare collectible. Another fascinating aspect of the 2001 New York Quarter is its proof version, minted specifically for collectors. Even in the high-quality environment of proof production, mistakes sometimes occurred. One such proof quarter was discovered with doubling on the word Liberty and the number 2001. This proof error, graded PR69 by PCGS, sold for $78,900. Another proof specimen showing a frosted cameo effect on one side and a polished finish on the other, a result of improper die preparation, fetched an incredible $89. 250. Collectors today are constantly on the lookout for 2001 New York quarters with unusual characteristics. The beauty of these coins lies in their variety. Each error tells a story of human oversight and mechanical imperfection that turned a simple commemorative issue into a treasure. Many of these coins remain hidden in collections, drawers, or rolls of quarters waiting to be discovered. Even now, hobbyists occasionally report finding strange examples in circulation. One coin enthusiast in Pennsylvania recently found a slightly off-center 2001 P quarter with partial doubling on the Statue of Liberty's face. After expert verification, it sold for $52,700 in a private sale. Stories like these continue to fuel the excitement around this series, proving that the thrill of discovery is alive and well. The 2001 New York State quarter dollar stands as a shining example of how the smallest minting mistakes can produce extraordinary results. With errors that range from dramatic off-center strikes to once-in-a-lifetime mule combinations, this coin has become a cornerstone in the world of modern numismatics. Today, examples of these rare coins continue to command extraordinary prices at auction, often between $46,100 and $120,500, depending on the error type and condition. So, if you happen to come across a 2001 New York quarter in your change, take a closer look. That tiny coin in your hand could be more than just a piece of pocket money. It could be a rare minting masterpiece worth thousands. And as history has shown, sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in the smallest details, just waiting to be discovered.